What is up, everyone? Zach here, bringing another Team Taste game of the day. You want taste? Today, on the left, we have Zach playing Sylveon, that quad Sylveon disruption build. And on the right, we have George playing the semi-updated Decidueye, Vileplume, Tapu-Lele, nonsense, all that good stuff. Seeing if it'll still be viable. Moving on into Guardians Rising. And George is going to start. I think he took like 3 mulligans to begin with, too. Starts with the Rowlet, Love Balls, all that good stuff, Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball's way, Gloom, and a Dartrix. Probably going to go look for that Tapu-Lele or a Shaman. Looks like his hand's still pretty big. He's trying to search out that forest to evolve right up. This is a scary part, playing Sylveon right now, when you start lone Eevee against like a Decidueye deck. If they get 3 Decidueyes out turn 1, they just win. They get the donk. George going to Tapu-Lele for the N. Looks like he might have another card to play. Nope, just going to N. Didn't like his hand. Probably had a bunch of like Decidueyes in it. All that good stuff. Sometimes they can just clunk up. You know, you start with a bunch of like Glooms and Glooms and Vileplumes and Decidueyes and Dartrixes, but you can't get that forest, and that just hurts. Both players are going to shuffle it up and get 6. A lot of players I've seen have been saying that Decidueye Plume's probably going to be dead after Guardians Rising, with the rise of Sylveon and the rise of Quad Garbodor, and that will probably help out a lot. George going to play DC to Tapu-Lele and then set up. Now, some benefits of playing Tapu-Lele and the Decidueye Vileplume is you can use its attack too. It's just like Air Ball. It was excellent Team Skull Grunt and find no energies. Then again, attach a Fairy Energy and Energy Evolve right away. So George playing the Decidueye Plume, you don't really need to play the. I think he's still playing 1 Lugia, but Deep Hurricane's really good. But being able to find supporters is even better. Zach gonna evolve on up and just use Magical Ribbon, find 3 cards, any 3 cards. Any 3 disruptive cards and put them into his hand. So right away Zach can go for his 9-item cards and keep on playing. So George gonna play Level Wall, gonna find a Dartrix, evolve on up. Sorry for the lack of gameplays the last couple days. We've been playtesting a bunch of Expanded. Gonna be at Toronto Regionals. Should be fun. And I don't know, expanded games, every time we record expanded games, it's, who went first in Hex, or who went first in Getsist. George going to play the Professor Sycamore, draw up. He finally finds his forest. Going to play Level Ball. Probably finding another Dartrix, maybe that Gloom. Looking at Zach's hand, he has some Flare Grunt, some Fairy Energies. Looks like he grabbed an Eevee, all that good stuff. George going to evolve on up to Decidueye. There we go. Words are just escaping me today. Gonna find a Float Zone. That's important. Wanting the Float Zone on that active Dartrix, probably on a Vileplume before he gets it out to that Oddish. Gonna attach Float Zone to the Dartrix. Gonna attach another double colorless to the Tapu-Lele. For those that you don't know, Tapu-Lele's attack energy drive, I believe, is 20 energy times the number of energies attached to both active Pokemon. So just like Mewtwo, just like Lugia, but it also doesn't hit for weakness with Tapu-Lele's. It's one stipulation. So George is going to double Feather Arrow and then Energy Drive. Ooh, and Zach's just going to play the Max Potion and get rid of all the damage that he just did. Now Zach's going to Team Flare Grunt. Attach another energy, and computer's messing up. Oh no. Okay, I think we fixed that. But so Zach's just gonna Magical Ribbon, find 3 cards, rinse and repeat. He didn't want to play that Eevee down because if George got another Decidueye out, he could just triple snipe, knock it out. So George, go play the Vileplume down, get the item lock, and double Feather Arrow and Energy Drive again. So not going to be able to Max Potion this turn. Zach's going to play that Hex Maniac, play down an Eevee, play an Enhance Hammer, getting rid of all of George's energy. since Zach played the Hex, the EV is safe from the Decidueye drops, and he really didn't want to Energy Evolve with a Sylveon in hand. So Zach's going to VS Seeker that Hex right back to his hand, so he has it for next turn, and Magical Ribbon. This is kind of why Sylveon's so good against Item Lock. It can just go and find your Hex, go and find your 9 items, cards. He could even be grabbing like another VS Seeker or double puzzles just to grab anything from his discard too. George gonna Lysander up the EV and just pass. Gonna evolve. Zach's gonna evolve right up into the Sylveon. Now he has both the Sylveons. Zach's gonna play Team Rocket's Handiwork. Flip 2 coins for each heads. Discard 2 cards from the top of your deck. Looks like he hits 2 heads. Oh, and he bumps 2 supporters away. That can hurt. Especially that end. George wants to end Zach as much as possible from stopping that Magical Ribbon. Which Zach's gonna do again. Rinse and repeat. Then George's gonna draw. Playing against the deck is really frustrating. It just, at times, it feels like there's nothing to do. Especially playing Vileplume. So George's gonna drop on the mat back. Zach's gonna Hex Maniac, VS the Hex Maniac right back. Play the Max Potion, getting rid of all that damage George has been working on to get done, and then gonna play or use Magical Ribbon, go and find his 3 cards. Zach's hand is getting really big right now. He's probably just stockpiling at this point. He has what he needs. He just has to get rid of all of George's energies, and he kind of just wins. So George's gonna draw for his turn. The Sylveon deck is just so good right now. George is gonna attach that Rainbow Energy. He's playing Rainbow Energies because that Tapu-Lele, the GX attack, Tapu Cure, it'll heal all damage, or all damage from 2 of your bench Pokemon. Alright, so Zach's gonna Hex, VS the Hex, play the E-Hammer, play a Parallel City, get her in one of George's Rowlets is why Zach did that. And then Magical Ribbon, yet again. Rinse and repeat. At some point, Zach might want to start trying to take prizes, but at this point, it's really not much of a issue. Zach just wants to make sure he can get rid of all the energy that hits the field. So George is going to replace the Stadium right away with a Force of his own. And looks like he's just going to go on and pass. So, yep, Zach's going to attach double colorless to the Sylveon. Play Hex. Play VS Seeker to get the Hex right back. Going to play double puzzles. Grabbing 2 E-Hammers. Threatening George, saying, hey, if you play any more energy on your bench, I'm just going to Hex and knock him out. So, yep, Zach's just going to Fairy Wind for 110. Leaving it in the KO zone. Let's see what George decides on doing. Looks like he's just going to pass. Yep, not much else he can do at this point. Now, ooh, and then Zach plays Delinquent. Getting rid of all 3 of George's cards. Getting rid of an energy. You see, George didn't want to play that energy down because he knew Zach was just going to Hex and E-Hammer it away. So Zach, Fairy Winds, takes the first 2 prizes. Oh, and George top decks the Lily. That seems to always happen whenever you delinquent an opponent to 0. They're always going to top deck that supporter. So how good is it really? George maybe deciding to attach an energy. Yep. Oh, he plays on the Meowth with the Turmoil Strike. Going to double Feather Arrow the Sylveon, and then Turmoil Strike. Another note to make, George hasn't been Feather Arrowing that much just because he's been being Hexed every turn. So, shuts off the Plume and also shuts off the Feather Arrows. Zach's going to just go on and Fairy Wind Meowth, knock it out. Don't think he had any other choice, really. George is really hoping he hits an end soon. He's going to play Revitalizer, pick up 2 Grass Pokemon. Going to go on and get Rowlet. Not sure what else is going to help him right now. Maybe a Dartrix if he has a Force in hand. Maybe not. Looks like his deck's getting really thin, though. Yup. So, George looking like he doesn't have many options left. He's going to Sycamore, grab his 7 cards, and oh, that was his last 7 cards in his deck. Yep. George is like, oh, too late. No point in playing it out, but See how it goes. George just gonna attach Rainbow and gonna scoop it up. Yeah, there's really not much that Vileplume can do against Sylveon, as long as like the Sylveon's Hex isn't prized and it avoids the donk. The max potions that just end up negating all of the Decidueye's damage. But thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you go to Toronto Regionals, hit us up. Most of us will be there. So later, guys.